So for today's panel, we will delve into how the Philippines is transitioning into a premier investment hub from the perspective of foreign investors and other investors as a whole, representing some of the biggest names in tech, private equity, and venture capital. Let's begin by introducing again our panelists. We have Mr. Mehta, Head of Southeast Asia DSG Consumer Partners. Let's give him a round of applause. Samir, thank you for being here. We have Stefan Matthews, a friend and CEO, no less than the CEO of nChain. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Also, to the left of Stefan, we have Mr. Tsao, good friend. Been working with him for the past couple of years, partner of COO of Yolo Investments. And last but, can we give him a round of applause, please? And last but not least, we have Mr. Chen of the National Development Company. So gentlemen, again, thank you. Thank you, Jer, for being here. Thank you also for being here and spending your Wednesday morning with us. And I look forward to a fruitful and insightful discussion with all of you. So we have, again, just a reminder, keep your answers hopefully 1 to 2 minutes if you can. Since we have, again, 23 minutes. But before we start, like I think some of here know you or your company, but for the benefit of the others, if you could tell us a bit more about yourself and the company that you represent, since we didn't have a host to tell everyone about your background. So yeah, Stefan, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, about nChain.
Yeah, sure. nChain was founded in 2015 purely as a blockchain research group. We spent the first 3 or 4 years of our life undertaking pure research. But today we're quite a different business. We're partnering across the world with government and other private enterprises in the deployment of solutions that are sitting on the blockchain backbone. We also have other sister companies in our group that build infrastructure for the deployment of blockchain solutions.
Yes, thanks, Stefan. We'll go back again to you. I'm sure, Stefan and I, we've been, you launch a lot of events here in the Philippines. So we'll talk more about nChain and what they do here in the Philippines. Steve, they can share with us about Yolo and what you work.
Yolo Investments, we're a global venture capital fund. We have 0% outside LP, so it's kind of our assets. And then we have about 700 mil asset under management, ranging from Brazil, Africa, certainly Philippines, and then US as well. And then primarily looking at fintech, iGaming, and then lesser extent Web3, and whatever makes it interesting.
Thanks, Steve. Mr. Chen, I understand that NDC, or the National Development Company, is in fact one of the oldest, institutions. Go ahead if you're going to do.
We're basically 104 years old.
104 years old. Is it the GOC, if you don't mind?
We are a GOCC, a government-owned and controlled corporation. We basically is older than the Securities Exchange Commission.
Correct. Yeah.
We use company because we were registered under the American era, or the
Commonwealth Act.
Right. We are the investment house of the Philippines. We used to develop and invest a lot of the things that you see now in the Philippines, like mining companies, plantations. We used to own an airline.
Yeah.
The steel company in the Philippines, we used to own it. We were the partners of Goodyear and among others.
Okay.
So over the span of 104 years, we've invested over 117 companies.
And obviously, let's talk more about it later, Mr. Chen. Thank you, Jer. Last but not least, Samir. I'm very familiar with some of your investments here, but please share with us.
Yeah, we've been around since 2012. We invest across India and Southeast Asia. We've made 82 investments till date. Hopefully we'll be 86 by the end of the year. We managed $325 million. So we are very early stage investors, right? So our job is to help founders take an idea from their brain on a whiteboard into reality.
Nice.
And then we will find other friends who will help back that company and hopefully grow it into something large. We made our first investment in the Philippines quite recently. It's called Pick Up Coffee.
Yep.
I hope those of you at least in Manila have seen us, and if not seen us, experienced us. If you've not, come talk to me or Franco, and we will sort you out.
Correct. Thank you, Samir. So we stay with you there, Samir. So I'll start with my first basic question. So Samir, I'll direct this to Samir and Stefan first. So from very basic, from an investor's perspective, what do you think makes the Philippines an attractive destination for foreign investments, and what sets it apart from other markets? Samir, you're
Sure. So let's just start with why somebody invests at our stage.
Yes.
You have to have talent.
Talent.
Talented people who have drive, ambition, want to accomplish something. You need to have early stage capital to get them started. You need to have broad stage capital at varying levels to help them grow into larger, successful companies. And most importantly, you need to be able to sell the company or your positions in the company to earn a return for the people who trusted you with their capital. That's how the flywheel works. And if it works well, it'll continue to work, and it will work upwards and upwards and upwards. That's basic investments for everybody. It doesn't matter Philippines, any other country. I think specifically in the Philippines, what excites us as a consumer-focused fund, that's all we do. Consumer brands, consumer services. All these other very technical things, I have no input, no insight, but consumer I know a little bit about. So Philippines has 110 million people. It has one of the youngest populations in Southeast Asia. It is still it is a developing economy, so $2,500 per capita, give or take. There's a lot of growth ahead of it, and what happens at this stage of evolution is your disposable income goes up, right? Because basic needs will start getting met across this whole country. We think there will be an explosion of brands across all categories. We think there will be a renewed pride in made in the Philippines for Filipinos and Filipinas, and that's really the pickup story. Right, is why must we only be attracted to international brands, right? And that's what we back. And that's what we get excited about. And 70% of consumption in the Philippines, or the GDP, is domestic consumption. Right. People like brands, people gravitate to them, and we think there's an interesting stories to be told over the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Right. So like Samir, I totally agree. I also moderated a panel yesterday in one of the rooms here. So our friends from India, even South Africa, they are here exactly like with the same like thesis, right? So like we have the skill here. It's really how to just to maximize it, and of course opportunities are here in the Philippines so far. Stefan, we go to you. You've been in the Philippines for a long time now, but yeah, go ahead.
I have, and that's a good lead-in and segue, thank you. Philippines, when I come back to the Philippines, and I say come back these days because I've lived here for 14 years, but
14.
And when I arrive here and I meet people and I speak, I say often, I've just arrived home. So the Philippines truly is home for me, and the fact that the companies that I have been fortunate enough to have been involved in founding based overseas with the technology that we've been working on for 8 years now. I often talk either at dinners or events like this about social impact.
Social impact.
Social impact. And the technology that we work with is a profound social impact technology. And for me, my journey with the technology here in this country started a year ago in October in the province of Bataan. And it was at that time that I attended a conference and the president had just announced a mandate for the digitalization of government transactions and records in this country. So that led me on this journey, which is now a year old, and we've been working with the provincial government of Bataan on a blockchain-based solution there for the delivery of government services, again, social impact. We're in conversations at a number of levels of government, because government, as we've seen here at this conference, is so actively involved in embracing digital transformation. So for me, it's like a colliding of the stars, if you like, to be blessed with working with and leading a company that is so deeply involved in the development of digital technology, and that technology to be so relevant to what's happening here. Now, there's the government investment level, but we also, as part of the commitment to Butter Arm, have bought our blockchain incubator here. Now, we invested recently, 12 months ago, we own 51% of the largest blockchain incubator in the world. 3 years it's been in existence, and that is Block Dojo. And I made a commitment to Governor Garcia to build a presence here in the Philippines, for the Philippines, to develop grassroots innovation. Because grassroots innovation means cross-training, training, upskilling, education.
Right.
And our objective there is a quite different level to government. It's about developing startups who can develop something unique for this country, but also for export. I know that was more than 2 minutes, but
No problem. Thanks, Stefan. So I totally agree with you. I'm sure everyone knows, especially our government officials here, that I believe in my view that this is the administration that has a clear mandate or direction towards digitalization. So I was talking to Steve. I just came from San Francisco last week to be part of the Philippine delegation of the Office of the President, right, to San Francisco and Silicon Valley. And really, there's like clear mandate to be able to connect with investors there, to bring them here and or bring Filipino talent there to enhance or enrich their skill sets, right, to bring back here in the Philippines. So very clear. So I agree with you, Stefan. So now we go to Steve and Jer. So let's talk about different sectors for investment. So my question is, what do you think are the specific Philippine industries or sectors that now holds tremendous growth opportunities for investment? If you've already invested in these industries, I know, Steve, you do, and sectors, what key challenges have you encountered so far? Steve, want to start?
Sure. I guess the way I evaluate opportunities is inefficiencies.
Okay.
And I think Philippines has a lot of inefficiencies to be
Besides.
So, two sectors that I look at in terms of inefficiencies and then also market product acceptance, opportunity acceptance, is one is in logistics, and then the other one is in financial technologies. Logistics, transport, delivery, this is where you see some of the first unicorns in other countries like Indonesia, like Thailand. And in fintech as well, comes quickly after that. And there's a reason for that, because in a way, logistics is a need. You have no choice. You need to breathe. You need to take water. You need to travel. So that hooks you in. That gains your trust. And then that's where they deploy the digital wallet once they already have your trust and your acceptance. And then from there, you build kind of the e-commerce layers on top of that. So,
Yeah, so I guess you're saying fintech and logistics. I totally agree. So one of the companies that we visited in Silicon Valley is this company called Zipline, right? They're the biggest drone or droid company, right, in the world, supposedly, right? And the idea there is they're also looking into their first venture in Asia would be Japan, right? But they're also looking into the Philippines because, of course, one of our biggest challenge here is how to deliver from all the to all of the 7,000 plus islands, right? So that's a good point, Steve. Jer, your thoughts on this? Like, what opportunities do you see here for investments?
We're government, so we should be agnostic.
Yes, sir.
We cannot say anything, but I can say the recent investments that we're doing.
Yes, please.
We did invest in the first Philippine vaccine manufacturing plant. We ground broke last October. We are now talking to it's already out in the news. We're talking to a satellite company in Singapore to buy into them an equity share. We're also talking to
Satellite for ISP.
for the Philippines for the broadband in the Philippines as a support thing, and to support the ICT. We did put money now in a VC fund. It's called the Startup Venture Fund.
Right. I wanted to ask.
So we're looking, and by chance, last end of October, we did our first investment. It's a app or a deep tech company that's doing electricity management for large corporations, B2B solution. So those are the things that we've invested, and we just follow the Philippine Development Plan. So whatever the Philippine government dictates as priority, we follow the invest. We follow this.
So thank you, Jer. So for some founders here or startups, if they want to go to you for the NDC to invest in them, how do they do they go to the website? I mean, yeah.
If you have a startup and you need funding, just email sbf@ndc.gov.ph. We'll take a look at it, and if it's something that we want to invest or something part of our criteria, we'll look for a co-investment partner. We don't invest alone.
Right.
We always bring a VC. Special mention to Foxmont as our co-investment partner. But we're also looking for co-investment partners, other VCs that wants to big.
She sounds sensitive, correct. So thanks, Jer. So Samir, we go back to you. So earlier, as you said that earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, your company DSG invested in a loved brand here already. I think you have 183 or something branches. Pick up coffee. Again, a local coffee.
I can't tell you the exact number.
I know it's growing.
24 hours.
So yeah, so I'm your lawyer now in the Philippines. That's why literally before this talk, I had a call with Diego and among others, right? So I understand, just correct me if I'm wrong, that the food and beverage industry in the Philippines have particularly attracted significant capital lately. Just correct me if I'm wrong. But my question is, why do you think that is, and how do you plan to further leverage or deploy your investments in this industry?
I mean, going back to what Steve mentioned, right? There's some basic needs in life.
Correct.
To eat. One thing you'll notice, as soon as all of us have a little bit more money in our pockets,
Correct.
we try to eat better. Increasingly, we try to eat healthier. And there are moments of joy, right? When you're eating something, drinking something.
Correct.
And it's something that's accessible to most of us, right? So we think it's one of those needs, not wants. We believe that people will gravitate towards brands that they love, that deliver a product or a service at a fair price in an extremely consistent way, right? There's always this move in other countries from the hawker stand or the roadside to a simple chain to a more complex chain. And actually, interestingly, the Philippines should be immensely proud of this. The most important quick service chain from our region, Southeast Asia, comes from the Philippines. It's Jollibee.
Correct.
Right? Jollibee is the most important QSR from Southeast Asia, right? So it's a Hobbies company. They've bought global brands. It's a phenomenally well-run company. So I expect there to be many more such companies that emerge from the Philippines, initially for the Philippines, but potentially for beyond, right? So as a early stage investor, I look for deep markets where you can build large businesses over 7 to 10 years, and many food and beverage categories represent that, quite honestly.
And 110 million people or 150, right? I think we're a perfect fit for you. So Steve, we go back to you, for Yolo investment. You said earlier you somewhat focus on, industries like gaming and fintech. So briefly, there's a lot of fintechs here in this in SMX aura now. How would you describe briefly the fintech landscape in the Philippines? And based on this, did you encounter any circumstances that made you rethink on your investment strategies in the Philippines? Briefly.
So we have kind of like a global digital bank portfolio with new bank in Brazil, Open in India, and then our investments. I have multiple investments here. I think what we see as an opportunity is really cross-border, because within each country, because of the central bank and currency regulations, and on and off ramps with banks, traditional, there are local entrenched moats for banks. That's one thing. So that process is hard. The second part, the opportunity is really the cross-border. And then so the Philippines is one of the largest cross-border remittance opportunities in the world. Everybody knows that. So it's kind of taking efficiencies of that. I spoke with the World Health Organization, no, not World Food, I think, with the UN. So for them to distribute $10 million for food after a typhoon or something, they pay like 10+%, right? So there's no need for that. So there's a lot of inefficiencies to be cured there. And then I think in terms of the regulatory aspect, yeah, it's a effing pain in the ass. But,
That's where we come in.
well, yes. And then also it increases our valuation because I talk to other foreign investors and say, good luck trying to do it yourself. You can go through what I just went through. So pay up.
Thanks, Steve. Now, we have apparently 3 minutes. So finally, to wrap this up, this discussion for the benefit of everyone. So this goes to everyone as for your final word. If you can share with us what lessons or strategies from other ASEAN or APEC countries do you think should be adopted by the Philippines to further enhance our appeal, the Philippines' appeal to foreign investors, and what steps can the Philippines make to establish itself as a prime investment hub in a global or regional landscape? Samir, if you don't mind starting.
That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Let's try. I think ASEAN has been guilty, broadly, of wanting to do everything regional, right? Broaden. Everybody talks about the region as a monolith. Those of us who live in the region know that while we are together, we are quite different countries. Speak different languages, different currencies, different cultures, different customs. My preference and what the advice we give all our founders to tee across all of these markets is try to be a country champion first, right? And there are, of course, differences in the things that Steve invests in, but a lot of what I do in consumer or what we do in consumer with our friends, you can build big businesses at home where you have unfair advantages.
Right.
Focus on that first, right? And when you get to a powerful position where you understood your own market, you're doing well, then you can venture abroad. So that would be one suggestion. Don't dream the ASEAN dream too early in your journey. Focus on what you know really well and execute like a maniac against that.
Thanks, Samir. Very practical tip. Steve, back to you. What can we do to further enhance the Philippines' appeal for foreign investors?
I think you just came from APEC, San Francisco, and I think the president of the Philippines is awesome. And I think as an investor in anything, you want to invest low. The Philippines is a country that hasn't talked to anybody for the previous 6 years, okay? Didn't like people. Now you have a president
Correct.
that is not just representing the Philippines. I would go as far as to say he is representing Southeast Asia.
Correct. Thank you, Steve. Stefan, your thoughts on that? Based on your experience being here, being outside.
Yeah, to put a different slant on things, focus on innovation. That's promoting and cultivating innovation, and on seeing it occur in the government sector, but also in the private sector, and to encourage and promote, and I know the country and the region, the ASEAN region already does, but private-public partnerships.
Public. Thank you, Stefan. And to put you on the spot, Jer, representing the government. So, in your view, what role in fostering the development of startups and investments in general can the government do to further, develop startups and innovation and investment, in the Philippines?
In the words of my general manager, we're here as the investment executioner.
Executing.
We execute those investments. You can come to us. We can invest in your company. We can go hand in hand, go to the trenches and make war with you if that's the case. But basically, NBC is here to help the investors outside of the Philippines coming to the Philippines, or domestic investors into the market.
On that note, thank you, Jer. Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Stefan, for this very insightful discussion. Let's give them a round of applause, everyone.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Blockchain 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.